Welcome everyone to episode 108 of Raw Sport. My name is Ahmed El Houli, and boy oh boy do we have a big, huge guest for you guys today. The one and only pound for pound king, Mr. Terence Bud Crawford. Welcome to the land down under. How are you, mate?
Hey, how you doing, mate? I'm doing good. Just hanging in there.
You enjoying your trip so far?
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying Sydney. It's a cool place.
Your favorite place so far?
So far, yeah.
Favorite place? Awesome. But from Omaha to global stardom, what has the journey taught you about loyalty, fame, and staying grounded?
Loyalty and staying grounded. Oh man, it'll get you, far in life. Just being myself and not trying to, copy anybody or do what I see other people do. I always been a leader, and I think that has taken me to a farther level than I would have been if I had been following other people with the antics that they do.
Wow. You've been in some of the biggest fights that we've seen in the last 10, 15 years. You've come through. I remember the first time you went over and fought Ricky Burns against all odds. You beat him. You've faced controversy. On this part of the world, we don't see many fighters at your scale. We don't have the insight that we do today. So how do you mentally prepare for each fight? Walk us through your mindset through fight week.
Well, fight week, I'm just, going over the things that, we worked on in camp and watching my opponent. Because I really don't watch my opponents during camp or before camp. I always try to watch them, fight week to keep things fresh in my mind, in my head, and just look at the tactics that they do. I watch a lot of my fights, during fight weeks, just to see the things that I'm doing wrong and the things that I want to make sure that I'm not doing come fight night.
Wow. Do you think being underestimated earlier in your career has given you an edge?
Of course. I think a lot of people looked at me and they said, oh, he can fight, but he's not going to go, too far, being that, I had a bad rep and I'm from Omaha, Nebraska and things like that. So I just think, nobody really, I won't say nobody, a lot of people, in the boxing world didn't give me a fair shake.
You faced elite fighters your whole career, but your next one's the biggest. What makes this fight different?
Well, this fight is different because not only am I coming up two weight divisions, I'm fighting arguably the best Mexican to come out of Mexico, at his weight, where he's comfortable at, where he's the strongest at, where he's undefeated at. So it's a big challenge, and the opportunity is there for me to be great that night, and that's what it's all about, is taking a risk.
Absolutely. When you beat Canelo, are you the greatest of this generation?
Hands down. Hands down. I think I'm the best of this generation right now, but when I beat Canelo, I think I'm gonna be on a different mountain after that.
You've conquered 3 weight divisions and become undisputed. Where does legacy rank for you at this stage of your career?
Oh, I'm already in the Hall of Fame, I believe. That's already solidified. So, I gotta pat myself on the back and be proud of myself for what I've accomplished in the sport of boxing and how hard it took me to get, where I am now, and just appreciate, the people that believed in me and that stuck with me through it all, and just, sit back and look back at my career and say I did it my way, and just appreciate the things that I've done. I gotta how would I want to say it? I gotta big myself up at times, You know, I gotta appreciate myself at times. I gotta be happy for myself at times because, you know, at times us fighters are so busy trying to do things and please other people, we forget about ourselves.
Absolutely.
So I gotta appreciate the hard work that I put in. I gotta thank myself. I gotta, you know, do everything that I can do to make sure that I'm making myself.
You looked after.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You've never ducked anyone. In today's world, that's pretty rare. What do you think the game has changed so much?
Well, I don't know. You know, I think it's a mindset and it's the confidence in myself that I have. You know, I always was a guy that, you know, is so competitive that I always wanted to challenge the next person. And anything that, you know, I did, I never wanted to do it if I couldn't do it at the highest level. It didn't matter if we throwing rocks, if we, you know, kicking a football. You know, I wanted to be the best at it or compete at the highest level.
Absolutely. You're known for your mental toughness. I've seen you on socials. You climb that mountain in Colorado, the steps all the time. Everyone's dragging behind you. What fuels that fire? I mean, you reach a stage where the money's there, the comfortable life is there, the cars are there. What keeps that going?
Oh man, just, you know, want more. You know, wanna be great. You know, you can't half step. You can't half step because you get hurt in this field. You don't play boxing, so everything I do, I gotta do it to the fullest, and I gotta go 110% at it. Unless, you know, it's no purpose of me doing it. So when I'm training, when I'm working out, I like to lead the pack.
Absolutely. How important in today's world is it for fighters to take control of their finances, run their own show, especially in a fight against the sakes of Canelo Alvarez? I mean, a lot of money's been transacted. We used to hear in the past so many fighters finished up and had nothing. Promoters have taken money away from them. You know, in today's world, how much emphasis do you put on that?
Well, you know, that's a big thing, you know, but for the fighters that don't know, they don't know. You know, I think it's very critical for you to, you know, take control over your career once you learn everything that you need to know about your career. A lot of fighters, you know, they not preview to contracts and certain things, and I think that's something that us fighters need to start doing is, you know, being able to know what's going on inside your contract and know what's going on when your manager, advisor is having them meetings with the promoter about who you're going to fight and how your career is going and what they want from your career. I think you should have some type of input on everything that happens with you in your career.
Absolutely. We're seeing a huge transformation in boxing, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but with the arrival of the Saudis, we're seeing the sport transform a fair bit. Do you believe that in 5 years the sport is going to look like the way it is now, or we're going to see huge disruption?
I think we're going to see a huge change. You know, boxing is evolving just like every other sport. You know, I think boxing is gearing up for a massive change, and it's going to be a change for the better of the sports and the better of the fighters. And it's a good thing as well as, you know, for all around boxers and promoters and managers. I think there's a place for everybody to get along and do great business together.
Absolutely. And finally, you've always bet on yourself. What advice would you give young fighters trying to do the same, especially in this part of the world? We don't see many Terence Crawfords here.
I just tell them stay consistent, stay dedicated, and believe in themselves when nobody else believe in them, and just keep working hard and beating that drum.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it from the best, Terence Crawford. Thank you very much for joining me on Raw Sport.
Thanks.
Take care, everyone. Was that all right, bro?
Oh yeah, that was good.
Beautiful.
Thank you, brother.
There you go.